we dive into the drama of the Australian Grand Prix, where the high expectations of Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton turned into a huge disappointment. After a promising winter and a confident Friday, what looked like a race to fight for victory quickly turned into a strategic nightmare. Ferrari, who arrived at the Melbourne circuit hoping to show their potential, ended up dropping to a frustrating 8th and 10th place. And Hamilton, who also saw his podium chances fade, vented over the radio blaming a misunderstanding with his team. But what really happened was just a strategy error, or is there something deeper in the SF25 that compromises Ferrari's performance? And if Hamilton had followed the plan correctly, would he have actually gone for the win? Prepare for a thorough analysis of the mistakes made, the miscommunication, and the lessons that the team and the now Ferrari driver will have to learn to avoid repeating the same mistakes in the next race. Stay until the end to understand all that has been lost and what the future of Ferrari could be in the season. When expectations are high, disappointment can be even greater. That's exactly what Ferrari felt at the Australian GP. After a promising winter with encouraging testing and a good performance on Friday in Melbourne, the team had a reality check at Albert Park. The SF25, which looked competitive, proved to be only the 5th force in the race. The strategy during the rainy phases was not well executed by Pitwall, resulting in a performance below expectations. In the end, the cars finished 8th and 10th, a frustrating result for the team, even with tactics geared towards the wet track. The car proved unstable in both the rain and the dry, revealing problems that have plagued Ferrari before. This below-expected performance raises questions. Was it just a strategic mistake or a symptom of deeper difficulties? Whatever the cause, the team will need to react quickly to prevent this drop from compromising the optimism that had been growing. Challenges include understeer in qualifying and a lack of balance in the car. Cyclical problems Ferrari needs resolving to fight back at the top. It is essential to understand as soon as possible whether the problems are the result of design errors or whether they are still related to an immature suspension and vehicle dynamics. In addition, the team was not free from flaws both in choosing the car setup and in managing the most chaotic moments of the race. The extremely hectic stages of the race saw Hamilton's Ferrari unexpectedly enter the fray for a possible victory. However, that chance was lost due to a late pit call when the number 44 car should have switched to intermediate tires in the rain. The error occurred after a misunderstanding between the driver and the team, compromising the strategy. This sequence of mistakes caused Hamilton to lose positions, especially after the recovery of his opponents. To make matters worse, a safety car stuck in traffic before his stop, forcing Owe to finish alone. In 10th place, discouraged, Hamilton vented over the radio to his track engineer Riccardo Adami, complaining about the information received about his position after the pit stop. He also explained the misinterpretation that led him to dwarf stop earlier. "I thought you said it wasn't gonna rain again. It was a missed opportunity," were the words of the Hammer A. Expectations for the race were high, but Ferrari ended up performing well below expectations on the Australian GP weekend. After a winter full of optimism, confidence, and good results in testing, as well as a promising Friday in free practice, Ferrari had a reality check in Melbourne. At the Albert Park circuit, the team proved to be only 5th strongest on the grid, ending a chaotic race in an inefficient manner. Strategy during the rain phases. Casas was poorly executed by both the drivers and the pitch wall, resulting in a modest 8th place for Leclerc and 0.1 for Hamilton. The disappointing performance was a reflection of mistakes by the drivers who failed to make a difference, but also of an SF25 that proved unstable and difficult to drive. Despite the tactical choices thought out for different weather conditions, the car did not perform well either in the dry or wet. This setback may have been the result of wrong strategic decisions or chronic problems already known to the team. The impact was great, abruptly curbing the optimism that surrounded the team. Now it remains for Ferrari to analyze the causes of this below expected performance and seek a reaction in the next stage. In China, the team is not exempt from blame in the setup of the car, although OSF25 proved slow both in Q3 on the dry track and in the race in variable wet and dry conditions. However, this may be related to recurring problems such as understeer in qualifying and lack of confidence from drivers. These issues can be the result of design flaws or road front suspension, as well as immature vehicle dynamics. These questions remain unanswered for both engineers and pilots. Lewis Hamilton, for example, looked at his debut for Ferrari in a less than encouraging scenario. In an interview with Sky Sport FUM, he rated the result as disappointing for him and the team, highlighting that the risky strategy made it difficult to achieve a solid performance. It was one of the most difficult days, the Englishman said. Being in this car for the first time with this power unit in such challenging conditions, learning new steering wheel functions and team communications was a huge challenge. I expected a better result. I fought, and for a moment we were fighting for the podium after staying on the track, but in the end, the rain came back and everything got worse. Before closing, Hamilton highlighted that OSF 25 seen in Melbourne was never within its optimal performance window. He believes that the true potential of the car has not yet been revealed. We couldn't get the car in the right window. I don't think the performance of the car is at the expected level, very far from what we saw today or in qualifying yesterday. If we had to sum up Ferrari's performance in today's race in one word, it would be disappointment. After the high expectations on Friday, Saturday brought the first frustration with only a mediocre classification, which left Leclerc and Hamilton starting on Wednesday. But the problems didn't stop there. During the race, irregular rain in Melbourne further hindered the performance of the SF25, which failed to deliver good results. Furthermore, misguided strategies ended up nullifying any chance of reversing the situation. After the race, Leclerc commented on the team's performance. "It was a difficult race. We have a lot to analyze. The strategies. It seems easy to assess from the outside, but we struggle a lot in these conditions. We're focused in improving this aspect because whenever we face this type of situation, we are not able to perform as we would like," he admitted. Before pointing out the team's mistakes, Leclerc also acknowledged his own flaws. "I made some mistakes that cost me a lot. We have to work harder. I'm disappointed. I expected a much better performance." Finally, he showed determination for the next steps. "In a week, we will be back on track. Hopefully a better performance in. Well, last year we were not brilliant in China. We need to seek evolution." The disappointment on the Monegasque's face is evident, but there is no time for lamentation. We move on to China, where Ferrari will have the chance to show the true potential of the SF25. Still a mystery until now. If you want to stay updated on everything that happens in the 2025 Formula 1 season, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Here at Formula Gold, you will have the best analysis and all the latest updates from the world of Formula 1 firsthand.